In the first section, we saw a demo of a static website on Kubernetes. In this video, I will guide you through the actual process of deployment. At the end of this video, you should be able to deploy the static website on your own and play around with the cluster. The source code for all the exercises are on GitHub at https://github.com/shah Kubernetes course. This exercise is in the folder called Kubernetes static website. You should have installed Minikube by now. Start Minikube if you have not already done so. The first step is creating the Docker image. We will use the Docker runtime from Minikube so that the image is available to Kubernetes. In production, you would have Kubernetes download the image from a repository. To use the Docker runtime, type in minikube.exe docker-env. It will give you the steps to set up the environment variables so that your Docker points to the runtime from Minikube. The screenshot shows how we have done it. Make sure that when you type in docker.exe images, you see the images from Kubernetes. The static website for us is a plain HTML page that is a single header that says Hello Kubernetes. To create the image, we first create the Docker file which uses httpd as the base. httpd or Apache server sets user local Apache to htdocs as the base directory for the website. We copy the index.html file to this directory. When the Docker container starts, it will start the Apache web server and serve pages from this directory. To build the image, type in docker build -t, which is the tag name, Kubernetes static website, followed by dot. Docker will look for the Docker file in current directory and use it to build the image. If you type in Docker images after that, you should be able to see the image. We will now deploy the image. To deploy, we use the static website deployment.yaml file. Let's look at what the file contains. The content might not make sense now, but we will go through it in detail later on. For now, you need to understand that it is written in YAML format. The keyword kind tells Kubernetes that this file contains deployment information and service information. The deployment specifies the image that will be deployed. In this case, it is the Kubernetes static website image that we just created. The YAML also specifies that we need two instances or replicas of the website. We tell Kubernetes to open up port 80 from the container. Image pull policy is set to never since we do not want to download the image from the repository. We also specify service in addition to the deployment. Service creates network rules to allow access to port 80 on the container that we opened. In this case, we created a service of type node port since we want website to be available outside the clusters. We'll cover services in details in a later section. The service says that the website will be available at port 30500. In production, we'll create a service, an ingress controller, and a load balancer to make the website available to the end user. This website will be highly available since it has multiple replicas. We can also easily scale the application by increasing the replicas, and Kubernetes will take care of adding the new replicas to the load balancer or the ingress controller. The steps to deploy the application are same as what we saw earlier, but let me repeat them here for sake of completeness. Hope you had fun creating your first deployment in Kubernetes. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense right now. We'll cover each of the concepts that you saw here in great details later on. In the next section, we'll look at the architecture of Kubernetes and understand some of the key concepts. See you in the next video.